Brian Lehrer on WNYC, and each day this week we're taking a few minutes at the end of the show to meet someone being inducted into City Lore's People's Hall of Fame, which honors local grassroots contributors to New York City's cultural life. Yesterday we spoke with DJ Rekha, who mixes Punjabi, Jamaican, and hip-hop music to make a whole new form of dance party at SOBs. Well, today it's time to meet someone who makes much older music, you might say. His name is Michael Smith, and he plays the bells at St. Martin's Church in Harlem, which is at the corner of 122nd Street and Malcolm X Boulevard, for those who don't know. Michael, welcome to WNYC. Congratulations on your induction into the People's Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much.
And in all the material that we've read about you, you're referred to as a carilloneur. Is that different from a plain old bell player?
Well, carilloneurs usually prefer the term carilloneur. It refers to a specific instrument and the technique of playing it.
And that is a carillon.
Carillon, right.
Tell us about the carillon. Most people have never seen one.
Mine consists of 42 tuned bells arranged in a chromatic series. They're about 3.5 octaves. They're fixed in place. They don't swing. You don't pull a rope or anything like Quasimodo to ring them. They're sounded by big iron clappers, which are pulled against them by means of a keyboard, which is entirely mechanical. You bash the keys with your fists, basically, and that sets the clapper in motion and rings the bell.
Bash the keys with your fists?
Yeah, it's like a piano keyboard. It has natural keys and sharp keys, just like a piano keyboard, except it's on a vast scale.
So like a pianist would need to learn the 88 keys and learn their way around the 88 keys, you need to learn your way around the 42.
Yes, exactly. And you do it with your fists, sort of one fist crossing over the other. It's quite physical and funny to watch, I suppose.
So you use mallets?
Oh no, you use your fists.
You do?
You know, you just bash the keys down with your fists. And
wow, do you have calluses on your knuckles?
I do.
It must be an incredible feeling.
I love it. It's you're totally obscure. Nobody sees you. You don't get to take a bow or anything. But it's a vast instrument, of course. I guess it's the largest keyboard instrument there is, and you can hear it for blocks around. So it's a lot of fun to play.
I went to college at Albany State, where they have this huge carillon, or they have carillon with a huge speaker right in the middle of the campus. And they rang the bells on the carillon at the end of every hour to signal the end of classes, which always made students, fall in love with carillons because then class was over. I guess they did it the same way.
I don't know. If it had a speaker, it sounds like it was probably electronic. A thing that carilloneurs sometimes refer to as a bongatron.
I don't actually know. Do you have favorite pieces to play?
I play a lot of old lute music, actually, because the nature of the instrument is such that you can't really play thick chords. The bells have such a complicated, rich overtone series that you can't play a big chord. You have to have a very sparse harmonic texture.
It would just sound too dense.
Exactly, and so the old lute music sounds very good on it, I think.
Do you think of your job as part of the religious mission of the church, or is this really about the sound and the community around the church that hears the bells?
Some of both, I suppose. The instrument itself has kind of an interesting history. Most carillons are where they are because some wealthy person was a bell freak and paid for a carillon to be installed. But this one was paid for by very small contributions from people in the community and people in the congregation. So it has a somewhat different story behind it, and I think of it as being at least partly the community's instrument, not just the church's.
There was a blog post on City Lore last year that highlighted some of the disrepair that the bells have fallen into, and it pointed out that lots of folks don't want to contribute to a religious organization they might not be affiliated. Do the bells still need work, and is there a way for people from the community to get involved in helping them?
The bells definitely need work. In fact, the thing hasn't been worked on much since it was installed 60 years ago, and so a lot of maintenance is very much overdue.
Can people support the bells financially without supporting the religious institution's other work?
Yes, indeed. That's what we're trying to organize. We're trying to organize a sort of Friends of Harlem's Bells, which is still in the hatching stages, but we do have a website, as who has not, harlembells.org, and you can sign up there and we'll keep you in touch with our progress.
It seems to be carillon year at City Lore's People's Hall of Fame because your fellow inductee is Dionisio Lind, who plays the carillon at Riverside Church, but he used to play the same set of bells that you do at St. Martin's. Is there a brotherhood among bell players in the city?
Well, there are only two of us, so, but Dio and I are old pals, yeah, and when I first started playing this crazy instrument, he was extremely helpful to me and gave me a lot of advice. and instruction and encouragement. So in a way, he's still playing the bells at St. Martin's.
There are only 2 carillon players in the city? Are these the only 2 instruments in the city?
I believe there is now technically a third. I think St. Thomas's on Fifth Avenue now has 2 full octaves of bells, which qualifies it as a carillon, but that's a recent development.
How many Quasimodo jokes do you hear each week?
Oh, 3 or 4.
Yeah. And what is being inducted into the City Laura People's Hall of Fame mean to you and your bells?
Well, it's very gratifying because, of course, as I say, one's a very anonymous musician. You know, one is not seen performing and one doesn't get to take a bow. So being recognized is quite gratifying. And, of course, when they sent out this flyer that said I was suddenly a fabulous New Yorker, I was amazed.
So what's the best time for a non-parishioner of St. Martin's Church at 122nd Street and Malcolm X Boulevard to wander by if they want to hear you play?
About 12:30 on a Sunday afternoon. I play after every Sunday service, and that's whenever the service is over, that's when I cut loose.
Michael Smith, now an inductee into the People's Hall of Fame in New York City. Thanks so much for coming up.
Thank you.